So, Micromax final number 2 to conclude their action for the first day of competition here at Karting d'Espagne. The grid is as follows. Race 1 winner Casper Schoemans and the number 40 from the Netherlands will line up on pole position, and alongside will be the number 9 of Belgium's Thomas Strouwen. Tommy van der Stroy starts in third. Alongside will be the number 86 of Mika van der Pavert. Matej Radenkovic and Tom van Langendonk will round out row number 3. Mick van den Berg and Karel Stout will be on 7th and 8th positions respectively in the numbers 29 and number 3. Olivier Jonkers will start from 9th position ahead of Max Swiderski in the number 19 with Dries van Langendonk, who didn't have the best of luck in the first race earlier on today. Will start from 11th position in the number 15. So they've just had the sighting lap and they now go onto the formation lap. 13 minutes plus an additional lap in this particular encounter, and that will be the same for all of the grids subsequently following this particular race. So it will be down to Casper Schoemans on pole position and the number 9 of Thomas Strouwen to control the pace. So the weather conditions, there are clouds overhead. The wind has picked up here as the Rotax, Mojo and BNL Karting Series flags are definitely being buffeted by the wind. So the drivers now getting into the 2x2 side-by-side formation ahead of 13 minutes of action plus 1 additional lap. So in around 15 minutes time we'll see who is going to be leading the weekend results here at Karting d'Espagne. So they come through the chicane that brings them onto the start-finish line. For those watching at home, it's Schoemans on the left-hand side of your screen in the number 40 on pole. Alongside will be the number 9 of Thomas Strouwen. The revs rise on the Rotax racing engines. And we go lights out into turn 1. Tommy van der Stroy gets a great start there and goes straight past Thomas Strouwen to take 2nd position. And it looks like Matej Radenkovic, I think, has just got up into 4th at the meantime, as Dries van Langendonk has already got past Max Swiderski and could be getting past Karel Stout very, very shortly indeed, as Van der Stroy is hot on the heels of Casper Schoemans and is bringing Strouwen along to the party as well. Behind them you've got Radenkovic, Mika van der Pavert, Mick van den Berg, Tom van Langendonk, Olivier Jonkers, Karel Stout, Dries van Langendonk and Max Swiderski. 12 minutes and 24 seconds plus an additional lap to go. And the 3 at the back, which is Stout, Dries van Langendonk and Max Swiderski, are embroiled in their own little battle. Meanwhile, at the front of the field, the rest of them are all pretty much with each other. However, Van der Stroy wants to get a win under his belt to pick up his 5th win of the season. And is hustling, but Strouwen is very menacing over the back bumper of the number 54 and goes sweeping up the inside to retake the position. Van der Stroy immediately counter-attacks and retakes the place back. But here comes Matej Radenkovic and has slingshotted past, but is going to be hung out to the outside of turn number 3. And it's side-by-side between Radenkovic and Van der Pavert going into turn 4, but Radenkovic gets the initial advantage there. Jonkers now up into 6th position, having got past Dries van Langendonk. So, and at the moment, now where is Tom van Langendonk? Right down at the back part of the order, it seems. So, Mick van den Berg and Tom van Langendonk are being left in the exhaust trails of the remainder of the field. And in front of them looks like Karel Stout is sitting in 9th position at the moment, behind Max Swiderski, who's now up into 8th place. But Schoemans again is starting to break away and has pulled a comfortable gap initially to the tune of 0.4 of a second, as Strouwen and Van der Stroy still battling away. Van der Stroy is trying to hang around the outside of turn 2 on Thomas Strouwen, trying to get the cut back into turn 3 using that wider line going through. and trying to get that momentum carry through, but this is allowing Mieke van der Pavert to latch onto the back of the 54, who's running on the Paralin chassis. Stuyven, one of the GKS drivers in this gaggle of Mini-Max competitors, Micro-Max competitors. But Van der Stroys is just trying to buy time now, as Jonkers and Dries van Langendonk are battling over what is effectively 7th position, as Max Swiderski has got past the pair of them, it seems. Matej Radenkovic has been passed by Mieke van der Pavert, who's now in 4th place. Schormans is now really pulling away. That is going to be at least 6 to 7 tenths of a second, I believe, between Schormans and Stuyven. It's 8.8 tenths, as Van der Stroys has just lost out 2 positions to both Van der Pavert and Swiderski. So Swiderski really coming back in this one, having started from 10th position. Van der Stroys retakes the place back, so gets back into 4th ahead of Swiderski, going through the exit at turn number 3. They go into the left-hander at turn 4, now onto the far part of the circuit. But Schormans is leading and is pulling away still from Stuyven, who has dropped the likes of Van der Pavert, Van der Stroys and Swiderski at the minute. But Jonkers and Dries van Langendonk are still battling away for what is effectively 6th position. So let's see what the gap is now between 1st and 2nd place. It's now gone to 0.7 of a second, as Stuyven is really putting the hammer down right now, and it looks like is Jonkers going up the inside of Dries van Langendonk. Yes, he does, and takes the position through turn number 2, and manages to start pulling away, but can't quite do anything just yet. But van Langendonk was trying to go up the inside of Jonkers going into turn 4. Didn't really have any room there to make any move possible there, to be completely fair with you. But Van der Stroys is really having a battle on his hands, as he's that is Max Swiderski that's got back in front of the current championship leader. So Van der Stroys really having to fight hard for top 5 positions, let alone trying to compete for the lead. So Van der Stroys really not having the performance that we saw back in Genk back in late March. So Schormans' lead is being decimated as Van der Pavert is coming under pressure. Swiderski sends it up the inside of Van der Pavert, going through into 3rd place, and Van der Stroys pounces as well. All that's very close between the pair. It was side by side coming out of turn number 2, but Van der Pavert takes the initial advantage coming out of that corner through turn 3 into the left-hander at turn 4. That's a really great momentum carrying corner, and Van der Stroys is absolutely hustling it through that corner, trying to get past Van der Pavert, and does so, I believe. Oh, that's side by side yet again between the pair. Oh, that's close, but Van der Stroys loses out, and this is allowing Dries van Langendonk and Olivier Jonkers to latch on to the battle of that position, which is 4th place. So whilst Van der Stroys is trying his best to get past Swiderski for 4th position, or Van der Pavert, I believe. No, Swiderski now pulling away. Stuyven really putting the pressure on to Kasper Schormans coming through turn 1, and is going to get the slipstream into turn 2. I don't think he'll make it stick, as Van der Stroys goes up the inside of Van der Pavert to take back 4th position and signals to Van der Pavert, right, let's get after the 3 in front, shall we? Van der Pavert may have other ideas, but then you've got the 2 GKS drivers of Dries van Langendonk and Olivier Jonkers. Then you've also got Matej Radenkovic, who is trying to keep in touch. But Stuyven's right on the back bumper, all little bit of front to rear touching there between the 2, but Stuyven couldn't make it, couldn't capitalise in any way, shape or form. We're past the half-time distance in this last Micromax final of the day before they come back for 2 more tomorrow. But Schormans is really having to fight right now for this 2nd victory, as Stuyven's right on the back bumper, goes up to the inside and cleanly takes the lead from the number 40. but Shawmans is absolutely powering round the outside into turn 2. Goes for the cutback. Can't make it stick. Heads into turn number 3. Oh, it's nearly side by side. Who could get the inside run? It could be Shawmans. Could he make it? Oh, that's brazen, and he does. That's a really bold move there, as Swiderski's really coming into this one now. Having started from 10th position, now the number 19 up into 3rd place, and is really very much a part of this three-way scrap for the lead. But I have to say this with quite clear conviction. You're going to have to watch out for Van der Pijvert, Van der Stroys, Dries van Langendonk and Olivier Jonkers, maybe even Matej Radenkovic. 4 minutes and 49 plus an additional lap to go here in this last Micromax encounter of the day. And this is well and truly on. It's Strouwen's going to go back up the inside, and he retakes the lead from Shawmans. Shawmans again goes to the same offensive, and Swiderski's trying to muscle in. Who could lose out here? Could it be Shawmans? Strouwen keeps the lead. Swiderski sends it up the inside. And is that Van der Pijvert trying to go around the outside of Shawmans into turn 3? Can't make it stick. Will he get the inside run going into turn 4? This is absolutely mesmerising at the front. 8 karts in definitive contention for the lead and even the win of this race, the victory in this race, as Van der Stroys is trying to go around the outside of Dries van Langendonk. But I have to say, this is absolutely brilliant as Strouwen continues to lead. Shawmans in 2nd, Swiderski in 3rd place. Van der Pijvert, Van der Stroys, Dries van Langendonk, Olivier Jonkers. And looks like Radenkovic is being dropped somewhat here, as Van der Stroys is trying to make up places. Has he lost out? Well, Strouwen's lost out big time as Shawman. Well, oh no! Someone's gone off at turn 1. Oh no, that really didn't need to happen at all. And was that Thomas Strouwen that's just been eliminated? Was there the slightest amount of contact? That is the case, as Tommy van der Stroys gets past Mika van der Pijvert to take back 3rd position. And now Van der Pijvert coming under the the actual watchful eyes of both Tom and Dries van Langendonk. This is really heating up here. The top 2 now moving away. Van der Stroys is trying his best to catch up. Van der Pijvert has really got to watch his back bumper, because he's got both the Van Langendonks and then also Matej Radenkovic for close company. So Radenkovic coming back into this one. And the lead is not yet decided, because Max Swiderski is bump drafting Kasper Shawmans going into turn 1. And one of the... I have to say that was very, very close there. No, it wasn't. It was. It looks like it was Tom van Langendonk that I think was... hang on a second. Just seeing here that we've got... yeah, it was Thomas Strouwen that was eliminated, but Tom van Langendonk has dropped back a little bit further. So, Shawmans leads from Swiderski. It is about a kart length and a half between the pair. Then we've got Tommy van der Stroys. And then Mika van der Pijvert ahead of Olivier Jonkers, Dries van Langendonk and Matej Radenkovic. I think this is going to be a very exciting conclusion to the Micromax action here today at Karting d'Espagne. And the only unfortunate thing for Thomas Strouwen is he's only on the same straightaway as the leading duo come across the start-finish line. What is Swiderski going to do now? Can't really get the kart placed in the right position, as there is a battle for 4th, and it's side by side between Jonkers and Van der Pijvert. Jonkers has got the inside run coming out of turn 2, but Van der Pijvert is able to power past going through into turn 3. Meanwhile, Dries van Langendonk definitely fancies another positional increase, as does Matej Radenkovic at the very, very least. But the 2 leaders really have broken away from Tommy van der Stroys. They were less than 65 hundredths of a second apart last time around. Van der Stroys is now going to have a chance of some description if Shawmans and Swiderski keep squabbling over the lead of this race. So it was 0.885 between first and third last time around. So Swiderski really still keeping in the tracks of Shawmans, who blocks off and defends very well there. And it's now 0.797 between first and third place, as Matej Radenkovic has got past one of the other drivers. It looks to be Dries van Langendonk has lost out to the number 99, while as Mika van der Pavert is still battling with Olivier Jonkers for fourth place. So time will expire now. This is the penultimate lap of this race. We'll have to see if Kasper Schomans can hold on to make it 2 for 2 this weekend, because Van der Stroys doesn't seem to have an answer at the moment. So Thomas Stuyven crosses the start-finish line. A real disaster for the number 9 there, unfortunately, who started on the front row. Schomans goes very defensive and goes towards the inside racing line very, very early indeed. And Swiderski is trying to force the issue to do that one clean overtake that could decide the victory. And Swiderski's going for it when he clashes slightly with Schomans, who drifts wide. Tommy van der Stroys pounces on the number 40 and gets past before turn number 4. I did say that van der Stroys could factor into this if the two in front, as Schomans trying to go back up the inside of van der Stroys, heading in to turn number 6. Can't make it, sticks to the 54 now in second position. He has Swiderski in his sights as van der Stroys. Coming into the final infield technical part of this track here at Karting des Fagnes in Mariembourg. Swiderski trying to hold on for the win. Van der Stroys is trying to keep there with it. But what could happen now, because Thomas Stuyven will get the final lap board, but the checkered flag will now be readied. Now, what is it going to be? Who's going to take a win? It's going to be 3 different winners this season. Max Swiderski wins it. And that was, and Tommy van der Stroys nipped it at the flag by 5/1000ths of a second from. Now, I have to say there was a definite dynamic change, because Kasper Schomans finished in 6th, because Mika van der Pavert in the 86 took 3rd position. Olivier Jonkers finished in 4th ahead of Dries van Langendonk. Schomans in 6th, having started from pole position. Matej Radenkovic in 7th place ahead of Karel Stout, Tom van Langendonk, Mick Vandenberg and Thomas Stuyven. So Max Swiderski makes it 3 different winners this season. And a very, very interesting dynamic of the championship, which has taken another change this weekend. So 2 different winners this weekend. So congratulations to Max Swiderski, winning by just over 0.38 of a second, ahead of Tommy van der Stroys, who continues to lead the standings by my reckoning at this particular moment.